Have you ever come across a lady who thinks herself as a queen? Sulfur is often called the king's remedy, but what we are going to discuss today is usually termed as the queen's remedy. Yes, we will talk about the woman's remedy platina, which is prepared from the most expensive and rarely found metal, platinum.
Disclaimer. This video contains information on homeopathic remedy. The purpose of creating this video is to spread information and knowledge about this remedy. We strongly discourage any self-consumption of medicine without a qualified doctor's consultation.
Hello, I am Dr. Dimple from Visual Designers. This video is specially being created for English speaking audience. If you wish to view our video on platina in Hindi, you can click here. Over past few months, we have created certain videos on homeopathic remedies like pulsatilla, phosphorus, sepia, lachesis, calcarea and many more. We received your love, appreciation and some suggestions in all our videos. I hope you will find this video educative. Please comment and give your feedback. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. To better understand the platina personality, let's imagine a lady named Nancy who perceives herself as a queen. Nancy is a 17-year-old college student. She is meritorious and secures high grade in her examination. Though she belongs to a middle-class family, she spends a lot of money on her dresses, watches, footwear, etc. One day, she had a debate with Martha, where Martha wins. From that day onwards, Nancy started avoiding her. With this background, let's dwell deeper into Platina's personality. Among the most vivid feature of this personality is her superiority complex, which is of highest degree. Nancy always thinks that she is superior to other students in her class. So what is this superiority complex? In general, who would have superiority complex? Well, superiority complex can be seen in people who are rich or who have a high position in society or who are highly educated or who are highly influential. In case of Nancy, she has a superiority complex because she is a meritorious student. But is it necessary that those who have something superior in them must have superiority complex? No. Let's assume that Nancy is not able to top in her class this examination. Will this change her attitude? Will she lose her superiority complex overnight? Superiority complex is a part of one's personality. It is independent of material superiority. And so, those who don't have anything superior in them can also have superiority complex. It lies here in one's mind. Hence, we can conclude two things. First, superior qualities doesn't imply superiority complex. Second, superiority complex doesn't need material superiority. We can find platina personality anywhere and in any class of people. Now, because of this superiority complex, there are some delusions in this type of personality. There is a delusion of feeling oneself tall and other objects seem small. What does tall means here? Tall means above average, feeling oneself above everybody else. And other objects seem small, that is below average. Others are inferior, others are below average. A similar delusion is reported of humility and lowness of others while one is great. So it is clear that Platina considers people inferior to herself. But how is their behavior towards their superior? For example, how would Nancy behave with her professor? An important property of Platina's personality is they are hard to inferior and they are soft to superior. Therefore, Nancy would behave very softly in front of her teachers. Now, superiority leads to expression of exclusivity. Platina usually don't mix with others easily as they consider themselves extraordinary and others as ordinary. If a group of friends are sitting together, then Nancy is more likely to sit slightly away from the group. Another very peculiar observation may be that Platina patient feels that she does not belong to her family. She should have been born in some very rich family. Maintaining exclusivity can lead to extravagance. Extravagance means going beyond what is deserved and justifiable. To maintain their superiority, they become very pompous in nature. Nancy's expenditure presents her as extravagant. Extravagance does not only mean wealth, it may mean excessive display of power or exhibition of some other quality. For example, Nancy would always try to show her knowledge to others. Now, as Nancy successfully exhibits her knowledge, it tends to develop a feeling of pride in her. Therefore, display of extravagance can lead to a development of feeling of pride. Pride can also be observed through body languages and gestures. For instance, platina patients usually sit like this: straight back, stiff neck, chin up, nose up, eyes down, looking at you. So, what this posture denotes? It denotes the pride and overestimation of oneself. Feeling of pride can lead to egotism. So, what is egotism? Egotism is an inflated sense of one's importance. A person who is full of oneself during talk or who is absorbed in oneself is called egoist. For an egoist, they are the only center of attraction. Nancy feeling good about herself, feeling how knowledgeable she is her pride and ego. But when she starts to perceive others as low or others as less intelligent, less knowledgeable, that's when she becomes haughty. Hence, excessive ego leads to haughtiness. When someone is haughty, they have a big attitude and act like they are better than other people. They are arrogant and look down on others. This haughtiness stems out of self-superiority. This type of attitude may derive from one's individuality, own religion, own profession, and own position. They use such kind of words that makes others feel low. Haughtiness leads to a delusion as if everyone and everything is inferior to oneself. All persons physically and mentally are smaller to them and that they are larger and superior to all others. This attitude of considering others as inferior develops into an attitude of contemptuousness. What is contemptuousness? Contemptuousness means one who is full of hatred and who insults others. A contemptuous person does not care for anybody's view or feelings. Nancy is known to pass derogatory remarks on others and insult them. It is not necessary to utter words to show contemptuousness. Even the actions and expressions are enough to make others feel insulted. The contemptuousness can be so great that the person would avoid talking with people at low position. For example, if somebody works as an assistant doctor in your clinic and if the platina patient comes to you, she will not allow the assistant to take her case history because for her the assistant is at low position. She will like to consult the senior doctor always. This collective attitude from superiority complex to contemptuousness leads to obstinacy. For them, what they think is right and what others are thinking is wrong. Obstinacy gives rise to a dictatorial nature and they do not tolerate even a slight contradiction. They want to cast off people who are against their will. Extreme dictatorial nature leads to the attitude where platina does not like to bow down to others. They cannot plead for help. And if at all they receive help from someone, they will not show gratitude for them. They are very ungrateful. Whenever they are contradicted, they become angry and irritable even at trifling matters. They become anxious and serious over matters that are not serious. They become cruel and malicious. Gradually, this hatred increases so much that the patient develops a desire to kill those who offend them. Thus, to summarize platina personality till now, they think very highly of themselves and hold their position and pride very close to their heart. Now, any disturbances of their pride will bring on symptoms. There are ailments from loss of position and deceived ambition. What is the ambition of a platina personality? is to maintain their superiority, to maintain their pride. Okay, and when this is deceived, there are symptoms. After such disturbances of their pride, they feel lonely. They start dwelling on past disagreeable occurrences, leading to apathetic indifference. They become melancholic, depressed, sad, and starts weeping. There is weary of life. They develop fears that something will happen, fear of death. In case of platina, mental symptoms alternates with physical symptoms and vice versa. So this is all about platina personality. I have tried my best to give you the complete picture of platina personality. If you have found value in this video, please like and share with others. If you haven't subscribed to our video, please do so now. Please comment to our video. We welcome your suggestions and feedback. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with some other interesting personality. Bye.